Think about the last time you got a raise. For a moment, it felt like things were finally going to change. You did the math in your head. You told yourself this time would be different. Maybe you would invest more, save more, actually get ahead. But a few months later, you looked at your bank account and nothing had really changed. The raise quietly disappeared into a bigger apartment, a newer car, a few more nights eating out. And you were right back where you started. That is not a coincidence. That is not laziness. And it is not because you lack discipline. That is your psychology working exactly as it was trained to. And until you understand what is happening inside your own mind, no amount of income, no side hustle, no budgeting app will ever be enough. The middle class in America is one of the most financially sophisticated groups of people on the planet. They read articles about the stock market. They have 401k plans. They talk about interest rates at dinner. They are not ignorant about money. And yet, the Federal Reserve's own data shows that the bottom 90% of Americans hold less than 30% of the nation's wealth. The median American family has less than 5 months of living expenses saved. And the top 1% holds more wealth than the entire middle class combined. So why, with all this financial awareness, does the middle class stay stuck? The answer is not found in a spreadsheet. It is found in the brain. Specifically, in a set of deeply wired psychological patterns that were never designed to build wealth. They were designed to keep you comfortable. And comfort, it turns out, is the enemy of financial progress. There is a concept in psychology called hedonic adaptation. It is the brain's natural ability to reset its baseline of happiness no matter what happens to you, good or bad. Win $1 million, within a year you feel normal again. Lose your job, within a year most people emotionally recover. This sounds like a superpower. But when it comes to money, it is a trap. Every time your income goes up, your lifestyle adjusts to match it. Your brain recalibrates what feels normal. What once felt like luxury becomes necessity. The apartment that used to excite you starts feeling small. The car you dreamed about feels ordinary the moment you stop smelling the new leather. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. You run faster and faster and you never actually move forward. Now add to that a second force: status anxiety. Americans live inside one of the most aggressively marketed cultures in human history. You are exposed to somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 advertisements every single day. Each one of them is designed with one specific goal: to make you feel like who you are right now is not enough. Not the right phone, not the right car, not the right neighborhood, not the right watch. The pressure to appear successful is so constant, so normalized, that most people do not even recognize it as external pressure anymore. It just feels like desire. And so they spend to close the gap between who they are and who they think they are supposed to be. This is not weakness. This is the result of billions of dollars in corporate psychology aimed directly at the part of your brain that fears social rejection. Here is the part nobody tells you. The middle class was not designed to get rich. It was designed to consume. After World War II, American manufacturers had an extraordinary problem. Factories that had been producing tanks and rifles suddenly needed a new customer. Corporate executives and government economists sat in rooms and made a decision. The American worker would become the American consumer. The 30-year mortgage was introduced. The credit card was launched in 1950. Installment payments became standard. Suddenly, you did not need money to buy things. You just needed the feeling of money. Debt became the infrastructure of the middle-class dream. And the psychological conditioning started early. You grow up watching parents work for a paycheck. School teaches you to be a good employee. The entire structure of middle-class life, the suburb, the car payment, the 2-week vacation, is built around the premise that your labor is a product to be sold and your income is something to be spent. Nobody sits a child down and explains the difference between an asset and a liability. Nobody explains that a house with a mortgage is not an asset until the bank is fully paid. Nobody explains that a new car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. What you were taught, mostly by watching the adults around you, is that working hard, spending on a comfortable life, and saving a little on the side is what financial success looks like. And that model keeps the economy running. It keeps factories producing and retailers profitable and banks collecting interest. It is a beautiful system for everyone except the person stuck inside it. There is also a third psychological force worth naming: loss aversion. Decades of research by behavioral economists shows that the pain of losing money is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining it. This means most people subconsciously avoid investments that feel risky, even when the risk is mathematically reasonable, and instead hold on to the illusion of safety in a savings account earning 0.5% annual interest while inflation quietly destroys their purchasing power. You are not bad with money. You are human. And humans were not evolved for a modern financial system. The shift begins with a single fundamental reframe. Stop measuring wealth by what you earn. Start measuring it by what you keep, and more importantly, by what you own that grows without your direct involvement. The wealthy do not primarily get rich from paychecks. They get rich from assets. Businesses, real estate, equity, intellectual property. Things that generate income whether they are awake or asleep. The middle class trades time for money. The wealthy build systems that trade assets for money. This sounds abstract until you apply it at the smallest scale. Every dollar that hits your account is not spending money. It is a decision. You can convert it into consumption, which disappears, or you can convert it into an asset, which compounds. The most powerful practical step is not about finding the perfect investment. It is about creating what behavioral economists call a commitment device. Automate your investments before you ever see the money. The moment your paycheck arrives, a predetermined percentage moves into index funds, retirement accounts, or whatever vehicle you have chosen. You never touch it. You never feel it. Your lifestyle adjusts to what is left, not to what arrived. This is how you weaponize hedonic adaptation against itself. Instead of your lifestyle expanding to consume every dollar, your investments claim their share first, and your lifestyle adapts to the remainder. The second shift is social. You have to consciously audit the environments and relationships that are quietly competing with your financial future. If everyone in your social circle measures success by cars and vacations and restaurants, you will subconsciously spend to keep up. This is not about judging anyone. It is about recognizing that your reference group shapes your baseline, and your baseline shapes your decisions. Seek out people who talk about cash flow and equity and long-term thinking. Read about how wealth actually accumulates, not how it looks from the outside. Redefine what financial success feels like from the inside. And finally, make peace with looking ordinary. Most first-generation wealthy people are invisible. They drive unremarkable cars. They live in sensible houses. They do not perform success for an audience. They are quietly, methodically converting income into assets, year after year, decade after decade, until one morning the compounding does something that looks from the outside like overnight success. The middle class is not a failure. It is a starting point. But it has a ceiling, and that ceiling is built not from lack of opportunity but from lack of awareness. You were handed a psychological operating system that was optimized for consumption, not for wealth. You were conditioned to spend what you earn, to signal status through purchases, to fear risk more than you fear stagnation. None of that was your choice. All of it can be reprogrammed. The question is not whether you can afford to invest. The question is whether you can afford not to. Every month that passes where income is fully converted into lifestyle is a month where your future self falls a little further behind. And every month where even a fraction of income becomes an asset is a month where the gap between where you are and where you want to be quietly closes. Wealth is not about income. It is not about intelligence. It is not about luck, at least not entirely. It is about who gets to your money first. You or the system that was built to take it. Start making that decision deliberately.